There's a hidden power inside you, a force so great that it can rebuild your life, transform your future, and awaken the destiny you were created for. That power is your mind. It is your faith. It is your persistence. It is the invisible engine that Napoleon Hill devoted his life to studying. Hill discovered a truth that most people never realize. Success is not luck, and failure is not fate. Success is the result of law. Universal, unchanging laws that govern achievement, just as gravity governs the earth. And when you align your life with these laws, success becomes inevitable. The first of these laws is desire. Every great achievement begins with desire. Not a weak wish, not a passing hope, but a burning obsession. Hill wrote that weak desires bring weak results, just as a small fire produces little heat. But a burning desire, one that consumes your thoughts and directs your actions, becomes the seed of greatness. Desire alone, however, is not enough. It must be combined with faith. Faith is the ability to see the unseen, to believe in the vision when reality offers no evidence. Faith is the conviction that what you desire already exists in the unseen, waiting for your persistence to bring it forth. Without faith, desire collapses under the weight of doubt. But with faith, desire becomes unstoppable. And then there is autosuggestion, the discipline of training your subconscious mind to believe in your vision. The subconscious does not argue. It accepts what you feed it, multiplies it, and brings it to life. If you feed it fear, you will live in fear. If you feed it faith, you will live in victory. Autosuggestion is the daily repetition of purpose, the constant visualization of success, the affirmations spoken with emotion until your subconscious accepts them as truth. This is why most people drift. They never take control of their subconscious. They let fear, society, and other people's opinions plant seeds of doubt inside them. And because the subconscious is fertile soil, those seeds grow into habits of procrastination, mediocrity, and defeat. But the one who controls his mind, who feeds it daily with faith, gratitude, and vision, creates a life of discipline, persistence, and abundance. And then comes persistence, the bridge between desire and achievement. Most people quit too soon. They endure temporary defeat and call it final. But Hill taught us that persistence always wins. Not instantly, not easily, but inevitably. Persistence is the refusal to quit, the daily decision to rise again, the courage to move forward in the face of fear. Finally, there is purpose. Without definiteness of purpose, persistence collapses. Without purpose, faith fades. Without purpose, desire dies. Purpose is the anchor that gives meaning to sacrifice, the fire that fuels persistence, the vision that drives every decision. Purpose is what makes you unstoppable. This is the formula: desire, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, and purpose. These are not theories. They are laws. Apply them, and your life must change. Ignore them, and you will drift. The truth is this: your future is not written yet. Every thought, every word, every choice is shaping it right now. You're either drifting by accident or creating with intention. The choice is yours. Most people never rise to their potential because they never make a decision. They drift, waiting for perfect conditions, waiting for permission, waiting for someone else to believe in them. But Napoleon Hill revealed the truth. Indecision is the devil's greatest weapon. When you hesitate, when you delay, when you refuse to decide, you surrender your power. Decision is the starting point of greatness. The moment you decide, truly decide, your subconscious receives the command. It begins working day and night, aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that decision. Life itself begins to move in your favor because decision creates momentum. But decision without persistence is fragile. Many people decide in moments of excitement, but abandon their decisions in moments of difficulty. They confuse emotion for commitment. But commitment is proven not when it is easy, but when it is hard. True decision survives the storm. This is why persistence is inseparable from decision. Persistence is decision repeated daily. It is decision lived out in action. It is decision that says, I will not quit no matter what comes. And the world cannot resist a mind made up. Hill explained that persistence is strengthened by desire and purpose. When you know what you want, and when your why is burning, you will endure anything. Fear will not stop you. Failure will not stop you. Delay will not stop you. Because purpose is stronger than pain. And fear will always test you. Fear of criticism. Fear of poverty. Fear of rejection. Fear of failure. These are the weapons of drifting. But fear is nothing but faith twisted in the wrong direction. Fear imagines the worst. Faith imagines the best. Both are choices. Which one will you choose? The only way to conquer fear is to act in spite of it. Action breaks fear's grip. Every time you persist through fear, your courage grows. Every time you decide to move anyway, your faith strengthens. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is persistence in the presence of fear. This is why Hill insisted that faith can be built through repetition. Your mind becomes what you dwell on. Repeat doubt, and you will believe doubt. Repeat faith, and you will believe faith. The more you speak, affirm, and visualize your vision, the deeper it is impressed on your subconscious. And once your subconscious accepts it, quitting becomes impossible. But here's the danger. If you do not choose your thoughts, the world will choose them for you. Negative voices, fearful news, discouraging opinions. They are all seeds being planted in your mind daily. If you're not vigilant, they will grow into weeds that choke your desire. That is why guarding your mind is as important as guarding your body. You cannot feed your subconscious poison and expect to reap abundance. Gratitude is one of the greatest antidotes to fear. When you give thanks for what you already have and for what is yet to come, you shift your focus from lack to abundance, from fear to faith. Gratitude affirms to your subconscious that you live in plenty, and your subconscious responds by attracting more of it. Gratitude is a magnet for blessings. Decision, persistence, faith, purpose, gratitude. Together they make you unstoppable. Together they make you immune to drifting. Together they transform you into a creator of destiny instead of a prisoner of circumstance. So ask yourself now, what decision have I been postponing? What fear has kept me drifting? What purpose have I neglected? And most importantly, am I willing to persist until my vision becomes reality? Because the truth is this. Nothing can stop a person who has decided, who believes, who persists, and who lives with purpose. Nothing. There is a secret that separates those who wish from those who achieve. Persistence in the face of failure. Everyone encounters obstacles. Everyone experiences defeat. Everyone feels the sting of rejection. The difference is not in the struggle. It is in the response. Napoleon Hill discovered that most people quit when success is just around the corner. They endure temporary defeat and assume it is permanent failure. They stop digging when they are only inches from gold. They let discouragement steal the destiny that was waiting just beyond persistence. But those who persist, those who rise after every fall, those who continue even when results are invisible, those are the ones who break through. Because persistence always wins. It may not win immediately. It may not win easily, but it always wins eventually. Failure is not your enemy. Quitting is. Failure is feedback, training, preparation. Each failure contains a lesson. Each defeat hides a seed of benefit. Each obstacle strengthens your character. If you persist, failure refines you. If you quit, failure defines you. Think of the great innovators. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb. Each attempt brought him closer, not further. Henry Ford went bankrupt multiple times before building an empire. Abraham Lincoln lost more elections than he won before becoming one of history's greatest leaders. What set them apart was not privilege, not luck, not genius. It was persistence. Hill wrote that persistence is to human character what carbon is to steel. It hardens you, strengthens you, makes you unbreakable. Without persistence, character is brittle, easily shattered by setbacks. With persistence, character becomes indestructible, forged in the fire of struggle. But persistence is not something you wait for. It is something you build. You build it by refusing to quit. You build it by acting daily toward your vision. You build it by rising every time you fall. The more you persist, the stronger persistence becomes, until it becomes part of your identity. And once persistence becomes identity, quitting is no longer an option. You stop asking, "Will I succeed?" and start knowing it's only a matter of time. You stop fearing failure because you understand that every failure is just another step toward your purpose. You stop doubting because you have proven to yourself that you can endure. But persistence is fueled by purpose. Without a clear purpose, you will not endure pain. Without a burning desire, you will not survive delay. Without faith in your vision, you will surrender at the first obstacle. But when your purpose is clear, you can face anything. Pain becomes preparation. Struggle becomes training. Delay becomes growth. Purpose transforms hardship into fuel. And faith magnifies persistence. Faith whispers, "This is not the end. This is the process. Keep going." Faith reminds you that the vision is already real in the unseen, that your job is simply to persist until it manifests in the visible. Faith strengthens you when evidence is absent. Faith empowers you when fear is loud. This is why autosuggestion is so powerful. By speaking your purpose daily, by affirming your faith with emotion, by visualizing your vision with passion, you reprogram your subconscious to persist automatically. Quitting stops being an option because your subconscious has already accepted victory as fact. So here is the truth. Your success is closer than you think. You may not see it yet, but it is waiting. Every step you persist takes you closer. Every day you refuse to quit brings you nearer. Every obstacle endured becomes a stepping stone. The only way you can lose is if you quit. So do not quit. Persist. Persist when you are tired. Persist when you are discouraged. Persist when the world doubts you. Persist when fear screams louder than faith. Persist when the results are invisible. Persist until your vision becomes your reality. Because your destiny is not for the drifter. It is for the one who decides. It is for the one who believes. It is for the one who persists. And that one can be you. The battlefield of success is the mind. Before you win in the world, you must first win within. Every victory and every defeat begins as a thought. Every achievement and every failure is born in the imagination long before it appears in reality. This is why Napoleon Hill insisted that thoughts are things. Most people underestimate the power of their thoughts. They allow fear, doubt, and negativity to dominate their minds, not realizing that each thought is a seed planted in the subconscious. The subconscious, like fertile soil, accepts whatever is planted, whether weeds or flowers, and multiplies it. Over time, those seeds grow into habits, and habits shape destiny. This is why autosuggestion is one of the most important principles in Think and Grow Rich. Autosuggestion is the deliberate planting of thoughts into the subconscious. It is the practice of affirming your purpose, visualizing your vision, and speaking faith daily until your subconscious accepts it as truth. And once your subconscious accepts it, your entire being begins to act in alignment with it. But most people live by default. They allow the world to program their subconscious. They listen to negative voices, consume fear-filled news, accept the doubts of others, and repeat self-defeating words. Without realizing it, they hypnotize themselves with failure. They declare, "I can't. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed," and their subconscious obeys. The person who rises, however, chooses differently. He guards his mind. He filters his input. He refuses to let fear dominate his inner dialogue. He speaks words of faith, gratitude, and confidence. He visualizes his goals with passion. He impresses his subconscious daily with the images of his destiny. And because the subconscious accepts whatever is repeated with emotion, his entire life begins to change. Hill revealed that the subconscious mind is also the connecting link to infinite intelligence. It is the channel through which ideas, inspiration, and creativity flow. When your subconscious is filled with fear, that channel is blocked. But when it is filled with faith, gratitude, and persistence, the channel opens. Ideas arrive unexpectedly. Solutions appear. Inspiration flows. What seems like coincidence is actually alignment. Your subconscious connecting you to a higher wisdom. This is why some of history's greatest breakthroughs came not from logic, but from sudden flashes of insight. The subconscious, properly trained, becomes a magnet for wisdom beyond human reasoning. But it requires discipline. It requires persistence. It requires faith. The formula is simple but demanding. Decide your purpose. Repeat it daily through autosuggestion. Visualize it as though it already exists. Feel it with burning desire and faith. Persist in action until it manifests. This is not magic. It is law. Just as gravity works whether you believe in it or not, the law of the subconscious works whether you use it intentionally or not. If you plant fear, you will reap fear. If you plant faith, you will reap victory. The soil does not discriminate. It simply multiplies what is planted. This is why gratitude is a weapon. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from fear to faith. When you give thanks for what you already have and for what is yet to come, you affirm abundance to your subconscious. Gratitude tells your mind, I already live in blessing. And your subconscious, unable to argue, aligns your life with that belief. Gratitude multiplies blessings because it multiplies faith. But here is the warning. Drifting is the enemy. Drifting means you fail to control your thoughts, fail to decide your purpose, fail to direct your mind. Drifting leaves your subconscious vulnerable to the fears and opinions of others. And the drifter always ends in mediocrity, regret, and defeat. Hill exposed this truth clearly in Outwitting the Devil. The devil controls drifters through fear and indecision. The antidote is definiteness of purpose. When you know exactly what you want, and when you feed the desire to your subconscious daily, you take control. You stop drifting and start directing. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. So ask yourself, what am I planting daily in my subconscious? Am I speaking faith or fear? Am I visualizing success or failure? Am I feeding my mind with gratitude or with doubt? Because the life you are living today is the harvest of the thoughts you planted yesterday. And the life you will live tomorrow is being planted in your mind right now. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has walked through the valley of failure. Not once, but many times. Failure is not the enemy. It is the teacher, the refiner, the preparation. Yet most people fear it, avoid it, and surrender to it. They mistake temporary defeat for permanent failure. They quit when persistence would have carried them through. Napoleon Hill taught that failure is never final unless you accept it as such. He discovered that most people stop just before success arrives. They grow tired. They lose faith. They surrender their vision. And because they quit, they never see how close they were to victory. Hill called this the tragedy of those who stop 3 feet from gold. But the ones who rise, the ones who endure, the ones who refuse to quit, these are the ones who turn failure into fuel. They look at defeat and see feedback. They look at mistakes and see mastery and progress. They look at rejection and see redirection. They persist, and persistence transforms failure into foundation. Edison failed thousands of times before producing the light bulb. Each attempt was not wasted. It was another step closer to success. Henry Ford faced bankruptcy more than once, but persistence built an empire. Abraham Lincoln lost election after election before becoming one of history's most impactful leaders. Their secret was not that they avoided failure. It was that they persisted through it. Hill compared persistence to carbon and steel. Just as carbon strengthens steel, persistence strengthens character. Without it, you are brittle, easily broken by disappointment. With it, you are unbreakable, refined by adversity, forged in the fire of struggle. But how do you build persistence when failure feels unbearable? The answer lies in desire and purpose. Weak desires produce weak persistence. Strong desires produce unstoppable persistence. When your purpose is clear, when your why is burning, no obstacle can defeat you. Pain becomes preparation. Delay becomes training. Struggle becomes strength. Purpose transforms every setback into a step forward. Faith also fuels persistence. Faith whispers, "This is not the end. This is the process." Faith keeps your eyes on the vision when circumstances shout defeat. Faith is action in the absence of evidence, courage in the presence of fear. Without faith, persistence collapses. With faith, persistence becomes unstoppable. This is why you must guard your mind against fear. Fear poisons persistence. Fear magnifies obstacles and minimizes faith. Fear convinces you that defeat is final. But fear is only imagination corrupted. Replace it with faith, and persistence is restored. And here is the paradox. Failure is the path. You cannot succeed without it. Each failure teaches you something success cannot. Each defeat builds resilience. Each rejection strengthens determination. If you persist, failure becomes the very thing that makes you strong enough to hold success when it arrives. The drifter runs from failure. The creator embraces it. The drifter quits at the first defeat. The creator persists until defeat becomes victory. The drifter fears rejection. The creator understands that rejection is redirection. So when failure comes, and it will welcome it, learn from it, rise through it, declare, "This is not my end. This is my training. This is my path." And persist. Persist when you are tired. Persist when you are discouraged. Persist when no one believes. Persist until the harvest comes. Because the truth is this: failure cannot defeat you unless you quit. But persistence guarantees that eventually you win. Take control. Plant faith. Plant persistence. Plant purpose. And in time, you will reap abundance. There is a force inside you more powerful than fear, more enduring than failure, more unshakable than doubt. That force is purpose. Purpose is the anchor of persistence, the fire of desire, the foundation of faith. Without it, your energy scatters. Without it, your discipline fades. Without it, your vision collapses under pressure. But with purpose, you become unstoppable. Napoleon Hill placed definiteness of purpose as the first principle of success for a reason. He knew that drifting destroys lives, and only purpose gives direction. Purpose is your compass, your guiding star, the reason you rise each day with determination. Purpose transforms suffering into meaning, sacrifice into devotion, and discipline into joy. Most people never define their purpose. They follow routines, chase the opinions of others, and drift wherever circumstances carry them. They confuse busyness with progress. They live by default, not by design. And because they lack purpose, they lack power. But the moment you decide your purpose, everything changes. Decision is the switch that activates power. Decision is the command that directs your subconscious. Decision is the act that declares to life itself, "This is who I am. This is what I will achieve. This is my destiny." And decision must be backed by persistence. A weak decision collapses under the weight of fear. But a true decision, one rooted in burning desire and anchored in purpose, becomes unshakable. It survives criticism, overcomes delay, endures rejection. It fuels persistence through every storm. This is why Hill warned against indecision. Indecision is drifting in disguise. When you hesitate, when you delay, when you refuse to commit, you weaken your faith and strengthen your fear. But when you decide quickly and firmly, and change slowly if at all, you create momentum. You send a message to your subconscious and to infinite intelligence: "I am serious." And life begins to align in your favor. Purpose, decision, and persistence together generate power. Power is not force. It is alignment. It is the concentrated energy of thoughts, beliefs, and actions all directed toward one goal. Power attracts opportunities. Power inspires others. Power creates momentum that grows with every step. Hill described power as the organized and directed application of knowledge. Knowledge alone is potential. Decision organizes it. Persistence directs it. Purpose fuels it. The result is power strong enough to create empires, transform lives, and shape history. But here is the deeper truth. True purpose is never selfish. If your vision is only about yourself, it will burn out. Selfish desires are weak fuel. But when your purpose is tied to service, to contribution, to impact greater than yourself, your persistence becomes unstoppable. Because then quitting is not just betraying yourself. It is betraying those who will be lifted by your success, those who will be inspired by your faith, those who will be changed by your purpose. Legacy is born from this kind of purpose. Legacy is not built in moments of applause. It is built in years of persistence. It is built by decisions that align with purpose, by sacrifices made in silence, by faith lived out daily. Legacy means that long after you are gone, your life continues to inspire. And this is what Napoleon Hill truly wanted us to understand. Success is not only about wealth, it is about impact. It is about the life you build, the lives you touch, the purpose you fulfill. He wanted us to stop drifting, to decide, to persist, to live with definiteness of purpose. Because purpose creates power, and power creates legacy. So ask yourself, what is my purpose? Is it clear? Have I decided to pursue it fully? Am I persisting daily to live it? Do not wait. Each day of drifting is a day stolen from your destiny. Each hesitation is a weakening of your faith. Each excuse is an enemy of your legacy. Decide now. Anchor your life in purpose. Fuel it with faith. Prove it with persistence. And watch as power and impact flow from your decision. Because once you live with purpose, nothing can stop you. The law of attraction is one of the most misunderstood ideas in the modern world. Too many people reduce it to shallow positivity, as if thinking happy thoughts will magically bring results. But Napoleon Hill revealed a deeper, disciplined truth. The law of attraction is not about wishing. It is about becoming. You do not attract what you simply want. You attract what you are. Your dominant thoughts, your deepest beliefs, your most persistent actions. These form the magnet of your life. And that magnet draws to you people, opportunities, and circumstances that match who you have become on the inside. Hill taught that thoughts are things. They are forces. When mixed with emotion and backed by persistence, they imprint themselves on your subconscious mind. And once the subconscious accepts a thought as true, it works relentlessly to bring it into reality. It influences your actions, sharpens your intuition, and opens doors you never noticed before. But here is the warning. The law works both ways. If you dwell on fear, you attract experiences that confirm your fear. If you focus on doubt, you attract obstacles that mirror your doubt. If you feed your mind with failure, your subconscious creates conditions for failure. The law does not discriminate. It multiplies what you feed it. This is why autosuggestion is vital. By affirming your vision daily, by visualizing your purpose with passion, by speaking words of faith with emotion, you train your subconscious to accept victory instead of defeat. Over time, this programming becomes belief, and belief becomes destiny. Yet Hill made it clear, attraction without action is delusion. The farmer cannot sit and wish for harvest. He must plant, water, and persist. Your vision is the same. Thought directs. Faith energizes. Persistence carries. Action executes. Attraction is not passive. It is the alignment of inner belief with outer discipline. Gratitude is one of the strongest accelerators of attraction. When you give thanks for what you already have and for what you have not yet received, you affirm abundance to your subconscious. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to plenty, from fear to faith. And because the subconscious creates in harmony with your dominant focus, gratitude draws more blessings. Emotion is another key. He'll explain that thoughts mixed with emotion have infinitely more power than cold logic. Words repeated mechanically do little, but words spoken with fire, with conviction, with burning desire, these pierce the subconscious and rewrite belief. If you want to attract abundance, you must feel it as though it already belongs to you. And then there is persistence. Attraction does not happen overnight. Just as a seed takes time to grow, your vision requires persistence. The delay is not denial. The waiting is preparation. Each day of faith and discipline strengthens the root until the harvest comes. Most people quit during the waiting, but the one who persists will always see results. This is the essence of Hill's law of attraction. You must become in thought, in faith, and in persistence the person who already lives your vision. The moment you align your inner world with your purpose, your outer world must follow. So ask yourself, what am I attracting today? Am I living in fear or in faith? Am I planting seeds of doubt or seeds of persistence? Am I waiting passively or acting decisively? Because the law is always working. The only question is whether it is working for you or against you. If you persist in faith, gratitude, and action, you will inevitably attract the life you were created for. Not because of luck, not because of magic, but because of law. Napoleon Hill's influence has stretched across nearly a century, yet his story is surrounded by both admiration and controversy. His works, Think and Grow Rich, The Law of Success, Outwitting the Devil, have shaped millions of lives, ignited movements, and built legacies of wealth and transformation. But questions about his life remain. Did he truly meet Andrew Carnegie? Did he really spend decades interviewing the greatest industrialists of his time? Some historians argue his accounts were exaggerated or even mythologized. And yet, here is the truth. Whether or not every detail of his biography can be verified, the principles he taught stand the test of time. His words continue to empower. His ideas continue to inspire. His teachings continue to transform lives. That is legacy. That is proof. Hill himself was no stranger to hardship. He faced financial ruin, personal struggles, and relentless critics. He was not a flawless hero. He was a man who wrestled with fear, doubt, and failure, just like you and me. But he persisted, and in persisting, he embodied the very law he taught. His life may not have been perfect, but it was powerful because he refused to quit. The long-delayed release of Outwitting the Devil revealed just how bold Hill truly was. Written in 1938 but unpublished until 2011, it shocked readers with its fearless exposure of fear, drifting, and the systems that keep people enslaved to mediocrity. Hill portrayed the devil not as a horned creature, but as the embodiment of fear, indecision, and drifting. He showed us that our greatest enemy is not outside of us. It is within us. The fact that his book was hidden for decades only proves how revolutionary his message was. Legacy, controversy, imperfection, all of it combines to make Hill's story even more powerful. Because it reminds us of something important. Greatness is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is about faith. It is about deciding to live with purpose even when the world doubts you. And so, the question is not about Napoleon Hill. The question is about you. What will your legacy be? Will you drift through life, surrendering to fear and excuses? Or will you rise with faith, persist with purpose, and build a life that inspires others long after you are gone? Will you allow doubt to define you? Or will you persist until destiny bends in your favor? Your future is not written yet. It is being shaped right now by your thoughts, your decisions, your persistence. If you live the principles Hill revealed, desire, faith, purpose, autosuggestion, persistence, you will not only transform your own life, you will impact generations to come. Because legacy is not about what you leave behind. It is about what you live right now. So take the lesson, take the principles, take the laws, and decide today to stop drifting, to persist, to live with faith, to pursue your purpose with everything inside you. The world is waiting. Your destiny is waiting. Your legacy is waiting. And now, my friend, it is time for action. Back and index pointing right, if this message has spoken to you, if you feel that spark inside, don't let it fade. Act now. Subscribe to this channel, Napoleon Inspires, and join a community committed to faith, persistence, and purpose. Every week, you'll find wisdom, powerful truths, and inspiration to help you rise higher and live the life you were created for. Don't just listen. Don't just drift. Decide. Persist. Act. Hit that subscribe button now, and let's grow together. Let's awaken the unstoppable power within you. Because your destiny is not in the future, it begins the moment you decide.